Youth Polytechnic Polling Center, but in polling station number 2 to be specific. Of course, it's an hour and a few minutes after the exercise started, and in this particular polling station, so far so good, but outside is where we are having a longer queues, particularly on one side, but we suspect that could be owing to the reason that there are so many names that start with the O, and that is where we are having a sort of bigger queues. But otherwise, in this side where we are, so far so good. Now, where I am, I've been here for the last 30 minutes or so, and now, actually, in terms of their primary voter identification, it's by way of biometrics, and as we speak, many of them they've successfully gone through, and the clerks here are very, very vigilant. Of course, at any slightest hitch, they are making sure that they engage the presiding officer who is in this particular room, and of course making sure that everything goes on. Now, straight on that table, of course, after that identification, of course, there's a form that the voter now has to fill in, and then I will that particular end is where they will be issued with the ballot papers. Therefore, after the tail end, then the secret booths are there, and then this particular end is where they will have to be casting their ballot after they have actually voted. And of course, they've been arranged sequentially. The first one is the president, and then the second one is the member of parliament, and then the third one here is yellow in color, that is a senator, a member of county assembly, woman, member of national assembly, and then lastly the governor. Now, this is Matayo's constituency. It's one of the 7 constituencies that we have in Busia County, and it has in totality, it has the highest number of registered voters. The first one with the highest number is Teso South, which has 61,000, followed by Butula, or Butla as they call it, with 57. And then now we have Matayo's with the 56. I'll be talking briefly to the presiding officer, Madam Susan Wasike, just to give us a briefly so far. So how is the progress so far? Yes, I'll hold for you.
Yeah, this is Susan Wasike, the presiding officer of polling station 2 of the Youth Polytechnic, code 055. We started the exercise at 6 a.m. and we are so far proceeding on well. The only problem we are finding is that some voters are confusing with their polling stations. Remember, this is a polling center, and because it's a polling center, we are having 5 stations. So they are queuing only to reach the biometric, the KIMS machine, to find that they are supposed to be in the station number 1 or number 5. But actually, we are sorting them and we are assisting them to see to it that they are going to be assisted after queuing the whole night and reaching the desk. They are going to be given preference, even the other stations.
Something interesting, of course, every polling station has 700 registered voters, but we are seeing longer queues out there, but this particular polling station has what you can call manageable. Why do we have a longer queue there, and then each is supposed to have maximum?
Each is having 569 voters, and as you see, we are sharing the entrance. That's why you are seeing the 2 queues. We are having station 1 and station 2. And again, what is actually holding the queue there is that we are identifying the voters biometrically. And now when we fail to find the voter biometrically, we are going by the complementary method. We are now going to MRZ, that is memory readable zone of the ID, scanning and getting to that particular voter. We need to validate first before proceeding to another stage. So you realize actually it takes some time as in to validate that particular voter to proceed on by casting picking the ballot papers.
As a polling center with 5 polling stations, what is the total number of registered voters at this particular polling center, Busia Youth Polytechnic?
Roughly, you need supposed to get there's 569 by 5. Yeah.
So they were evenly
Distributed.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Michelle. That is the presiding officer in polling station number 2 at the Busia Youth Polytechnic, Susan Wasike, explaining that all the voters here were divided into 5 polling stations, each taking 569 voters, and therefore that explains to you that one. Actually, it means if the queues that are outside is anything to go by, then by one, actually all the 569 could have voted. Therefore, this explains the whole exercise actually might actually be finished very early, because with 569 and no hitches, around 500, around over 100 have so far actually cast their ballot. So if this will be the trend, then we can as well actually predict that by one, then the whole voting process could have ended in many polling stations if this, what we are witnessing so far, is anything to go by. For now, I think I'll have to leave it here, then I'll hand over to you, Michelle, in studio, and Michael.
All right, thank you, Duncan. And again, live from Busia, one of the counties that seems to have a very heated gubernatorial race there, which we'll be keeping an eye on. But 13 hours